Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Managing a 9 to 5, running a business, staying healthy and also still having a life. It sounds like a lot because it is a lot. But fortunately, I have found my rhythm and today I'm going to break it down to you. How do I actually make it work? I started this because I knew that I didn't want to work for someone else's dream for my entire life. I love my job. Okay, I love my 9 to 5. But I also have dreams, building a brand, creating freedom, traveling more and more, going experiencing everything around the world. And quite honestly, I want to make an impact. So instead of just waiting for the perfect time, I built a system where I could have more time for myself while managing all of this at the same time. It's not easy, but it's doable. First things first, my week are usually very structured. On Monday to Friday, I do my 9 to 5. So that is a non negotiable besides the 9 to 5. Okay, actually 9 to 6. Besides the 9 to 6 from Monday to Friday, I have rest of the time to myself. That is where I structure my week. So my mornings are usually for like quick stretch or journaling or just dumping whatever it is that is on my mind and setting the intention for the rest of the day. Some people do it the night before, but I prefer doing it in the morning, like waking up in the morning and doing it in the morning. And most of my evening after work is where I work on my business or I work on my content creation or I work on any other administrative stuff that I have. To be a content creator, to run a business, you need to find the art of batch editing. How do I personally do it is that whenever I am scrolling on Instagram or if I see an idea, I immediately save it to a folder where I know I might do this content someday, right? So you are not actually taking extra time to look for content and like I am going to be doing this content. So let's search for the content and let's search for inspiration. No, I don't do that. Idea instantly pop. I immediately open my note app and take note on okay, these are the content that I can do. Or I immediately save it in Instagram and I just save it in a folder where it's called content ideas and I just save it. So over the weekend when I have all the free time for myself, I batch edit. So I look into okay, let's edit this today, let's edit the travel content today and like you should have it structured. You should have the plan of how many contents are you going to post a week, how many videos reels are you going to post a week. That is why this weekends are so important for me. Usually after you come back from work, you just sit in your sofa and you'll be like doom scrolling your Instagram or you'll be doom scrolling TikTok. When I catch myself scrolling Instagram mindlessly, I immediately stop and I open my Capcut and I just dump in the videos that have potential that I can make, that I can turn into a content with no ideas. I do not know what am I going to use the videos for, but I'm just going to batch dump it in one project. I'm just going to do like okay, this is like a diving video, so I'm just going to dump in all the dive video that I have. When you scroll with intention, you would actually see yourself seeing contents and you the brain would automatically like connect that oh, I have this set of videos in my CapCut that can be edited for this. And then you just do it. So it's not always about making time to do it. It's making use of the time that you actually have on your hand while you're doom scrolling. So every time you're just scrolling mindlessly, stop. Just stop. The moment you realize you're doing it mindlessly, stop and do it intentionally. That's how I do it. It's not easy, but I know every time you doom scroll, at one point you realize that, ugh, what am I doing? Just scrolling and like looking at like you'll feel restless doom scrolling. We all have been there, and I hate feeling that. So every time I realize the moment that I'm doom scrolling, I just stop. I switch to my CapCut app, or I'll just go to my saved videos and look for content that I have saved as an inspiration, and I start scrolling through. my album of inspiration. So I just go through, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And when you have already dumped the set of videos that you have in a CapCut, so you know the videos that you have on hand, and when you are scrolling through your album of content creation, right, of the content ideas that you have, right, it will automatically link. So these are not the things that you plan and do, these are the things that you set an intention and do. And I don't really use any fancy app to plan my week. I just use Google Calendar. Another thing, just use easy apps. Don't use all these complicated apps because you'll probably never visit that all the time. Google Calendar is always on your phone, or your Apple Calendar is always on your phone. So do your planning there, do your weekly structure there, because you're always on your phone. So every time you look up the calendar and you know what's going on. So you will be mindful of what you are doing for the rest of the week. As you all know, my business includes skincare and travel trips for the time being, and I'm working on a lot of other things. It does look like I'm working on a lot of other things. I might have like 100 different things that I should be settling on my business, or that I should be working on a business, that I should fix on the website, that I have things to plan the trip, I have to reach out to people for collaboration, I am like reaching out to brand, I'm working with brands, but I usually limit one to two priority only every day on my business. Okay, and another thing on how I manage my business is whenever I post a content for my business, I focus on content that is going to promote growth for my business instead of just mindlessly posting any content. Something that I do every day is tracking my sales and income. So once you do it on a daily basis, it's just going to take you 15 to 20 minutes every day. When you do it on a daily basis, spending 10 to 15 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes max is gonna give you the sense of you are consistently seeing the growth of your business. So tracking your sales and income every day is super important. And as of for the back end stuffs of my business and the systems, I just have one to two priority per day and get it done, which would be enough to just move the needle forward. You don't have to move the whole stack of hay to the front in one day. You can't do that. Move a needle a day. 1% every day is 30% a month, which is going to be 90% in 3 months, and it's going to be 365% in a year. It's true, but don't stop. Actively working on my business every single day, even though it's not a huge task, even though it's just one or two tiny thing that I need to settle off. But when you do it consistently every day, you have the sense of the growth. You would see the growth, like even though it's very small, you are still gonna feel the growth, and the more growth you see, you are gonna get the motivation to do better, and you're gonna get a hang of it even faster. Another thing that I commonly get asked is like, do I have a social life? Actually, I do, but I am very selective of who I hang out with, very selective with how I spend my time. When you're actively working on building your dream life, you really need to learn to say no. That is one of the most powerful thing ever. It's similar on how I schedule my work. That's how I schedule my social time as well. Okay, like scheduling my Monday to Friday 9 to 6 for work. So rest of the time is still being scheduled, and the weekends are still being scheduled, and even the social time are being scheduled. I used to be a person who's very spontaneous. I'll be like, okay, let's go. My friend called me, like, do you want to go for a movie? Do you want to go for a lunch? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go, sure. Yeah. I used to be a person like that. But when you are very intentional with your time, time equals to money. Okay, treat your time like you're treating money. Sometimes it's not really about balance, the work life balance. Like, no, it's not about the balance. It's about what do you feel the most like doing that week. Okay, I'm a woman. I go through so many different phases in a month. Okay, sometimes you would feel like you need more rest. So, on the weeks that I feel like I need more rest, I prioritize more social time. On the weeks that I do not feel like I need social time at all, I do not plan a social time for the whole week. That is how I function. So that is how I find my balance. Okay, so you got to find that balance for yourself. It's not always rainbow and sunshine. Some days you got to work your ass off. Now let's go to my health and wellness. Health and wellness is my non negotiable. I'd rather miss my meetup with my friends rather than missing my workout. My wellness and health is always on my top priority. It has to be your top priority for you to be productive, for you to be able to run a business. You got to be healthy and mentally well. So that is my non negotiable. I am a person who loves the dopamine that I get from achieving things. Okay. So I swim every week, and every week I actually have a target on what do I want to achieve on my fitness level. I exercise every day. It doesn't have to be lifting every day. You could do simple yoga, but move. Do it every single day. It makes me feel better. So I would do something that makes me feel better every single day. The easiest way that I have found to keep myself healthy is by eating clean. And actually, eating clean is not that hard. You just need to meal prep. So keep your Saturdays or your Sundays for meal prep. Okay, it just takes 3 to 4 hours for you to meal prep. Maybe the first few weeks is going to take you 8 to 7 hours for you to meal prep. Believe me, I've been there. But as you do it every week, you'll get a hang of it, and you're just going to spend 3 to 4 hours to meal prep for the whole week. And guess what? You don't have to think about what to eat for the rest of the week. Do you know how much of weight it lifts off your brain? How much of space is being taken every day if you're thinking about what to eat next? So yeah, meal prep. And it's on in your non-negotiable, you schedule everything else around it. And let me touch a bit about mindset and boundaries. That helps me balance all that is going on in my life right now. You need to be very self aware that this kind of life, the kind of life that you're going towards, the higher version of yourself, needs discipline and self compassion. And only you can do it. Discipline is not something that is very hard. It is learning to say no to things that is not aligning with your goals. It's learning to say no to things or to people who are not aligning with your goals. Even though at the moment it seems fun, it seems like, I wish I could have some fun. This kind of life needs a lot of discipline, and it starts with you saying no for things that does not align with your goals. Some of the weeks that I feel exhausted or tired, I talk to myself. I remind myself that I am not lazy. I just need some rest. I've worked hard. Everyone deserves some rest, and I take the rest that I need. Those kind of weeks is where I socialize more, because there were weeks that you work your ass off, Monday to Sunday, the moment you wake up until you go to sleep. There are days that you work your ass off. So there will be days that you do not feel like doing anything. And on those days, it's so important to remind yourself that you are not lazy and you just need rest and reset. And rest is part of your life. Rest is part of your growth. Okay, like plants, even plants have season where they fall and they grow and they fall and they grow. When it's falling, you can't expect the fruit to like grow. It needs rest, it's resetting. So on those kind of moments, don't be too hard on yourself, having this negative talk to yourself. Don't do that. On days that you feel like you need rest, rest. So there are few tools that actually helps me do this consistently without exhausting myself. It's number one, use the tools that is very easily available and that is on your phone. So the tools that I use is is Google Calendar, Canva Pro for any sort of creative poster or creative ideas that I want to put in and visualize. I use Canva Pro, and for most of the editing, I use Capcut Pro. These are the apps that is perfect for a beginning, for a start. So you don't need to go for the pro. You can start with the Canva and CapCut, which doesn't have the pro version, and you could still get a lot of things done with that. if you are thinking that you don't know where to start, you could actually start with these apps and tools, which is very easy to use. So I'm not a superhuman, even though I may seem like I'm a superhuman, but I'm not a superhuman. I'm just a girl who got tired of waiting for my dreams to come true, and who just started creating life around my 9 to 5 without knowing it is possible. But you gotta start to know and to see yourself making things work, because it is possible. If you are in the same place as I am, just know that you can do this too. With all the things that I have given to you in this video, you can do this too. Start small, take it one at a time, one goal every day on your dreams, and you will see what I'm talking about. Start small and be consistent, and don't quit. You would never fail if you never quit. Okay, keep going one at a time, a small goal every day. You got this, we got this, we are gonna grow together. Drop down in the comment your biggest challenges or the biggest struggle that you're going through right now, and I will try to answer it in my next video. If you want more behind the scenes of how I do this on day to day, do follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok from the link in the description box below. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Come back. See you in the next video. I hope this helps.